Welcome to This Explainer. Look, I want you to treat our time here today almost like a session, a space where we're going to do something, well, deeply uncomfortable, but absolutely necessary. We're going to hold up a clinical mirror. You know that feeling when a total stranger's comment just completely gets under your skin? Or why modern life constantly feels like this relentless, exhausting performance? Yeah, you're definitely in the right place. We are going to uncover the silent, completely invisible force that is secretly dictating your reality.
Let's start with a little scenario. Just picture sitting across from someone, right? And they calmly, casually tell you that you are fundamentally wrong. And I don't mean about some trivial fact. They are criticizing a belief that is tied to the very core of who you are. Now, I want you to notice exactly what happens in your body in that fleeting second. Just feel that biological reaction, your heart rate. It immediately accelerates. Your attention sharply narrows, literally zeroing in on the threat, and this intense wave of defensiveness washes right over you. What started as just a totally abstract exchange of words has, in a split second, triggered a visceral physical defense mechanism. Your brain literally just prepped your body for a battle. But why? Why does a simple difference of opinion actually feel like a physical attack?
Section 1. The story of you. Defining the self.
Well, to really understand this reaction, we have to look closely at what we call identity. Now, identity, it isn't made of flesh and bone. It's a story. It's this incredibly fragile mental image that you've built brick by brick from your beliefs, your values, and how you perceive your social standing. And here's the crazy part. Your brain treats this invisible construct like a literal, vital organ. It's absolutely essential for your survival. Because it provides a sense of stability, your mind will fiercely protect it. So any perceived threat to this narrative, it feels biologically dangerous to you, even if you're just sitting safely in a quiet room.
Because your core beliefs are totally fused to this identity, challenging the belief feels exactly like challenging your right to exist. This right here, this is the hidden psychology of the human ego. A simple disagreement turns into a mortal threat. A mere correction, it becomes a full-on attack. Honestly, it's exactly why highly intelligent people will fiercely, stubbornly ignore basic logic just to protect their pride. They aren't defending a fact, they are defending their very existence.
Section 2. Ancient instincts, modern anxiety.
You see, you inherited a brain that is highly calibrated for ancient tribal survival. Long before modern civilization, we lived in small groups where your life literally depended on social acceptance. Your status, your reputation, they determined whether you got food, protection, or exile. Losing social respect didn't just mean you were having a bad day, it meant isolation and ultimately death. And here is the truly unsettling clinical truth we all have to face. Those exact same desperate life-or-death instincts, they remain highly active inside of you today.
Section 3. The masks we wear. Confidence versus ego. We literally drag these ancient instincts right into our modern world, and we constantly confuse this desperate need for protection with genuine strength. But look at the divide here. True confidence, it's quiet. It remains completely stable when it's challenged. Ego, on the other hand, is internally fragile. It is basically a defense system that demands this unending, exhausting external reinforcement. It's terrified of being exposed, so it's just constantly scanning the room, making sure its status is protected.
And this creates such a tragic paradox in human behavior. The loudest, most aggressive, most boastful performances of self-assurance that you see in other people, they are almost always masking a profound internal uncertainty. When people feel uncertain internally, they just heavily overcompensate externally. The ego often appears the absolute strongest exactly when it feels the weakest.
Section 4. The social media mirror. Quantifying identity.
Now, never before in all of human history has your personal identity been attached to such an overwhelming barrage of public, quantifiable metrics. Your worth is literally calculated in real time. Just think about it. Think of that sudden sharp spike of anxiety you get from a passive-aggressive comment, or that hollow, sinking feeling when a post is totally ignored, or the sheer tension of being left on read. Your ancient tribal need for acceptance has been digitized, mechanized, and shoved onto a glowing screen that you carry in your pocket every single waking moment.
This digital architecture systematically manipulates your psychology. It operates on this really vicious loop. First, metrics automatically force comparison. You look at your numbers, and then you look at theirs.
That comparison inherently creates a silent, endless competition. And then, that competition feeds right into your deepest insecurities, creating this entirely new culture where mere visibility unknowingly dictates your entire self-worth.
What makes this dynamic so unsettling is the human brain's incredible capacity for self-deception. I mean, people very rarely admit, hey, I'm doing this for attention. Instead, the ego operates completely in the shadows. It brilliantly disguises itself as reason. You might completely convince yourself that you're, buying a certain luxury car purely for its engineering, or taking this insanely high-stress job just for the challenge. But, clinically speaking, the ego is just quietly hunting for the prestige that it desperately craves.
Section 5. The future of identity. A fragmented self.
Managing this hidden need for validation, it is only becoming more complex. Your identity is no longer just a single, unified story. It is now sliced up into these highly fragmented personas. Think about it. You have to manage a polished, professional persona on LinkedIn, a personal self with your close friends, this highly curated, perfect aesthetic on Instagram, and on top of that, a general public face. We are all scrambling, managing multiple, demanding versions of ourselves simultaneously, which completely fractures our sense of true internal value. And right here is the trap. The more you build up these carefully curated images across all these different platforms, the more vulnerable you actually become. Because images are incredibly fragile. The larger the ego becomes across all these different personas, the more territory it actually has to defend. So a single piece of digital criticism can literally threaten your entire psychological foundation, leaving you feeling entirely depleted.
Section 6. The truth about ego. Finding freedom.
Look, you cannot surgically remove your ego, all right? You're human. We all have one. But there is a blueprint for freedom here. The next time you feel that visceral defensiveness start to rise up in your chest, just pause. Just observe it. That simple act of awareness, it creates distance. And distance creates perspective. And perspective, that creates freedom. It's not freedom from having an ego, but rather freedom from being blindly controlled by it. By doing this, you actually reclaim the power to make your own decisions.
As we close out this explainer, I really want to leave you with a lingering thought. If you now truly understand how fiercely your ego works to protect your identity in the modern world, what is the deeper, hidden trauma or drive that makes you desire that social hierarchy in the first place? Why does our species crave status so deeply? Until you answer that for yourself, keep looking in the mirror and keep questioning that silent voice making your decisions.